Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news now, folks. Today we're diving into a story that has been creating quite a buzz around the Cleveland Browns and the NFL as a whole. It's a story that touches on the uncertainty that's now hanging over the team's quarterback position after what many fans are calling a disappointing performance in Week 4. That's right, we're talking about Joe Flacco, a name that many of you know well, especially those who have followed his career over the years. The veteran quarterback who's been around the league for nearly 2 decades is now facing a crucial crossroads in Cleveland after a tough game against the Detroit Lions. And let's be honest, the spotlight is shining brightly on him right now, perhaps brighter than ever before in his time with the Browns. So, what exactly happened in that game? Well, it wasn't pretty. Flacco, who was expected to lead the Browns' offense, struggled once again, completing only 16 of 34 pass attempts for 184 yards. That's not the kind of production you want from a starting quarterback, especially not when your team is trying to find consistency early in the season. But what really stands out are the 2 costly interceptions and a lost fumble, which directly contributed to the Lions putting up 17 points off turnovers. When you give a team like Detroit extra chances, it's almost impossible to come out on top, particularly when your offense isn't firing on all cylinders. And folks, this game was a clear sign that Joe Flacco's days as the Browns' starting quarterback might be numbered. Cleveland's head coach, Kevin Stefanski, was asked about Flacco's future after the game, and his response was anything but definitive. Stefanski simply said, "I understand the question, but that's not our focus." That's a pretty telling statement for anyone who's been watching closely. It signals that, at least publicly, the team isn't ready to commit to Flacco as the starter moving forward, especially after another subpar outing. Now, that doesn't mean he's entirely out of the picture yet, but the writing seems to be on the wall. What's even more intriguing is that, after the game, Flacco himself was asked about his standing with the team. And his response, he said it's not something he's too concerned about. He mentioned, "It's one of those things, you can't think about it when you're a player. I know what I signed up for. Everybody's always being evaluated in this league. It's disappointing to go out there and play like we did today. Other than that, I'm not really worried about all that." That's a veteran's attitude, no doubt, but it also highlights the reality that his position isn't guaranteed anymore. It's a tough spot to be in, especially for someone with such an extensive NFL history. Now, let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here. The Browns, coming into this season, had high hopes. They've been building around a solid roster, with a defense that's been impressive and an offense that was supposed to be capable of doing more. But inconsistency at the quarterback position has been a persistent issue. Deshaun Watson, the team's presumed franchise quarterback, has been dealing with his own setbacks, leaving the team to rely on Flacco and others in the meantime. And while Flacco has brought experience and leadership, his recent performances have raised serious questions about whether he can be the guy to take Cleveland deep into the playoffs. The Browns' coaching staff has to be feeling the heat right now. They're in a tough spot, trying to evaluate whether Flacco can turn things around or if it's time to give rookie Dillon Gabriel a shot. Gabriel, a promising young quarterback, did get some game action late in the 4th quarter against Detroit, though he was just 0 for 1 on a single drive. That's not enough to make any definitive judgments, but it does signal that the team might be considering options beyond Flacco moving forward. Especially with the season still in its early stages, every game is crucial, and Cleveland needs stability at the quarterback position if they want to contend. Looking ahead, the Browns' upcoming schedule will be pivotal. They face teams that are hungry for wins, and their success hinges on whether they can find consistency on offense. The defense has been holding its own, with players like Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward making plays, but the offense needs to step up, and that starts at the quarterback position. Flacco's experience is undeniable, but his recent struggles have opened the door for debate. Will he retain his starting role? Or will Kevin Stefanski and his staff decide it's time to hand the keys over to someone like Dylan Gabriel, who could inject some fresh energy into the offense? And let's not forget the history of Cleveland quarterbacks. This is a franchise that has seen its fair share of ups and downs at that position. From Bernie Kosar to Tim Couch, to Baker Mayfield, and now Deshaun Watson, the Browns have always been searching for that steady, reliable quarterback who can lead them to the promised land. Right now, Flacco's performance has cast a shadow over that quest, and fans are anxiously waiting to see what the coaching staff will do next. Now, returning to the current season, the Browns are still in the early stages of trying to find their rhythm. They've had some bright spots, but consistency remains elusive. The team has shown flashes of brilliance, especially on defense, but offensively, they've struggled to put together complete games. That's why the quarterback position is so critical. If Cleveland can find someone who can take care of the football, make the right throws, and lead drives, they could turn their season around very quickly. But with Joe Flacco's recent performances, it's clear that the team's confidence in him might be waning. The fact that Kevin Stefanski didn't commit publicly to Flacco as the starter shows that they're considering all options. And this situation is not unique to Cleveland. It's a common scenario in the NFL, where performance and timing often dictate a player's future. For Flacco, it's about whether he can bounce back from these struggles, or if the team will move on and give Gabriel or another quarterback a chance to shine. It's also worth noting that the Browns' fan base has been through a lot of ups and downs. From heartbreaks in the playoffs to moments of hope, Browns fans are known for their incredible loyalty and passion. They want to see their team succeed, and right now, they're probably feeling a mix of frustration and anticipation. Will Flacco find his rhythm again? Or will the team make a bold move and give Gabriel the start moving forward? These are questions that will be answered in the coming weeks, and everyone will be watching closely. The AFC North, as always, remains one of the most competitive divisions in football. The Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals are all fighting for their spots, and Cleveland needs to stay in the race. A stable and effective quarterback is essential if they want to avoid falling behind. The next few games will be critical, and the decision on Flacco's role could define the trajectory of their season. And for those of you who love a good underdog story, keep an eye on Gabriel. The rookie has shown flashes of potential, and even though he didn't get much action against Detroit, his development could be key for the Browns moving forward. If he gets the opportunity, he could become the spark that this offense desperately needs. But that's the NFL. It's all about timing, opportunity, and execution. The Browns have the talent, the defense is solid, but the question mark remains at quarterback. So in conclusion, Cleveland fans, this is a story still unfolding. Joe Flacco's future with the team is uncertain, and his recent performance has put him under the microscope. The coaching staff hasn't made any final decisions yet, but the signs point to a potential change. Whether Flacco can turn things around or whether Gabriel gets his shot sooner rather than later, one thing is for sure, the Browns' season is on the line, and every game moving forward will be crucial. This team has the talent and the heart, but they need stability at the most important position on the field to truly contend. We'll be watching closely to see how this story develops, and I'll be here to bring you all the latest updates. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. Do you think Flacco can turn things around? Or are you already convinced that Gabriel should get more opportunities? Whatever your opinion, I want to know. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news. We're in this together, and your passion keeps this community alive. Thanks for being part of the Browns family, and as always, stay loyal, stay passionate, and let's keep pushing forward. Cleveland forever.